What's good? What's good? What's good? Everybody's coming back with my tea of the day. Welcome to season 4, episode 17. And I just gotta get into this movie or this limited series on Netflix. When I tell you, baby, this is a tearjerker. This is a motherfucking tearjerker. I'm talking about from scratch. Picture this: Sicily, 1842. No, let me stop playing. But it is taped in Italy, and it's a love story with so many layers to it, so many different attributes to what love can be, to what love can show, to what love can become, and how you can become sucked up in love. And then within that love, you can sacrifice things that you're supposed to maintain that love, to really have that love last. A lot of people do not know when saying I love you, what that really means. Whether it's a friendship, whether it's a relationship, whether it's anything. That human interaction is so important. That human feeling is so important. Validating people's feelings is so important. Validating people's experiences is so important and essential to the human body, to the human growth within ourselves or within the friendship or relationship or familyship, whatever that looks like, whatever that is. But from scratch. So, Amy went out to Italy to basically learn the arts in terms of painting and artistry, and to really hone in on her craft and try to figure out if being an artist is for her and trying to learn from the greats. And within that, being by herself, being secluded, away from family, not knowing basically anyone, finding some friends. Then within that, finding out she had a whole boyfriend. And the boy was good. He just necessarily wasn't for her. And not necessarily in a bad way or in a... Like, when you know, you know. Like, when you're in a relationship and you know when there's something better out there for you, or someone better out there for you, you know. You may not want to admit it at the time. You may be dealing with a lot of emotions of the what ifs, or I'm not sure kind of attribute or kind of thing for it. So I get it, but ultimately, you know who's for you and who's not. So Amy goes down this road with Lino, this man that she met in Italy. And this man was so authentic, so real, so loving, so caring, so gentle, that Amy really, as much as she wanted to not go down that route, not be with Lino, it made sense. It made sense. And Lino being a chef, and Amy being an artist, it worked. Like, their lives together, eventually it began to work. And then they realized, as much as, or Amy finally realized, because Lino always liked her. Then Lino played his role and did what he needed to do to secure her and show her who he is and show her what love looks like and what a real relationship looks like, besides being with the man that she was with. He showed her something different. He showed her something that you organically built from scratch. Like literally from scratch is the name. And I find just the name is so beautiful because from scratch to me means something organic, something that you're building together, something that's not forced, something that's not curated, something that's not built upon. But it's literally just something from scratch. Like when you cook from scratch, or when you bake from scratch, and you have to get the flour, you have to get the dough, you have to get the eggs, you have to get all of these things that you have to get in order to get that cake, that beautiful cake at the end. This is what they built. This is what they made to get to the beautiful love, that beautiful relationship that they've both been yearning for. Because they had to do the groundwork. They had to put it in the work from scratch. And this is a actual movie, an actual thing, like this played out. The acting was phenomenal. The storytelling was out of this world. Like I haven't like this for a movie in ever. So they're in love now, and they decide to come back to the States, and they begin to live with Amy's sister Zara's house for a while till they get on their feet to figure out what's gonna happen, who's where, to figure out who, what, where, when, and why, kind of thing, like to get their lives together in the States. So Zara is a go-getter, this independent woman who is so ride or die for her sister and is so there, always been there. Gave up school lunches, like really was the older, bigger sister. And did what needed to be done to make sure that Amy was good in all scenarios and all situations. Even when sometimes it was taking away from her. And that's so relatable because that's what we as human beings tend to do. We always put people first and never take into consideration that it's damaging us in certain aspects. Never fully taking personal inventory of our mental, of our physical, of our emotional state. Because we're taking care, or we're trying to make sure that this person or that person is good. And eventually it sneaks up on us. Like that takes its toll on the person. So they fall so deep in love with each other, Amy and Lino. Until this one day. And this one day Lino hurts his knee. And he'd been having this pain in his knee for a little while. But he never really said anything. Until it came to a point where he couldn't really walk on his knee. And him being a chef, like he's on his feet all day. Like this is his job. This is his livelihood. Like this is his passion. He loves to cook. He's passionate about cooking. Like he learned from his mother and father, mostly his mom, of course, how to cook. Where it's like, if he can't cook, what does he do? Like, how does he make a living? Like, how does he live? How does he be authentically himself if he cannot cook? If he can't be in the kitchen? That's a problem. So, they go to the doctor to check on his knee to see what's going on. Why is he in so much pain? Why can't he barely stand? And they tell him he has cancer. And that broke my heart to its core. Because to know that you have someone that you love so deeply, and to know that there's something that you can fix. It's just shattering. Just to know that there's something that this person has to live with. Hopefully not for the rest of their life. Hopefully you find a cure. Hopefully you can beat it. But just something in this person's life that you cannot beat. You cannot overcome. You can't fix it by saying these words. You can't fix it within these actions. You can't fix the problem. And that was, of course, devastating for Amy. Devastating for the watchers. Because it's like, damn. She just found love. Like, this was like love. And although she tried to fight it, although she's like, I don't know, because I'm about to move back home. Like, the course I was here for is about to end. And it's not gonna last because I'm about to move. Now he has cancer. And to see how resilient, how strong she has to be. And she was, and she displayed nothing but empathy, compassion, love, respect, everything throughout the time. And to see how much Nina was so upset. Like, he showed real emotions. But to see how much he began to truly value his life, value the marriage, value love, value himself, value his wife. Well, he knew he had to fight. He had to fight for his life. He had to fight back what the doctors just told her. So you tell me I have cancer, but how can I beat this? How can I beat cancer? How can I be a survivor? He knew for a fact he was undestined to die right then and there. But this was not to be the last we was going to hear or see from him. And I'm happy he wasn't. I'm happy he fought. And I'm happy he became a case study. And he fought where he got into remission. And that was so beautiful to see. It was just literally an amazing thing to see him beat cancer. And they was able to build a family. They wanted kids. They wanted a kid. And they were able to have this set. They were able to adopt a beautiful daughter from a young girl who had a kid who was not ready to be a mother. But she did, and she knew what she needed to do. She wanted to meet them. She wanted to greet them. She wanted to make sure that after hearing the story, reading the letters that they had to write, in order to be able to adopt this beautiful baby girl. But after meeting them, she knew her daughter belonged with them. She knew what she had to do. And she gave up her rights, and they became her parents. And they raised a beautiful girl. And the beautiful girl really came into her own. In the fact of she became her own person. She realized what was going on. She was Daddy's little girl. And that was the sunshine that kept him going. So he got that dreadful news that now the cancer has come back. And on top of the cancer coming back, you now have a disease that is eating you from the fucking inside. But the doctors continuously tell them, let's run more tests. Let's run more tests. Let's run more tests. And not giving them the real that he can't beat this. He cannot win. So you have to come to terms with what are you going to do now? Because there's not much time he has left. And just to see the weight loss on Lino. Just to see literally him living his last days. Being so happy, being so vulnerable, being so loving, and being so receptive to love. And his last days was so amazing to see. It was so needed to see. It was so powerful. Because in most cases, most movies, you don't get to see that. Especially not from a man. You don't get to see the man cry, the man be vulnerable, the man be upset, the man hate life in that moment, but be so joyous in life in that moment. The duality that was shown was just powerful. Truly, truly powerful. And so guys, the movie really just had me in tears. And reliving and rethinking it and just going back over it really puts me in a mindset. Because I was there, not fully with someone living with cancer, but someone who had something I couldn't take away. And the tenacity I had to have for him to come to terms with it, for him to understand and live in it, and knowing it's not a death sentence, right? That has to be a death sentence. For just being strong, for him to be able to wake up each day, for him to try to live, for him to be powerful in his own right. It's just blissful. It truly is blissful. But after him realizing, and after him realizing that there's not much they can do for him, after raising the daughter, basically, not on his own, but having the daughter most of the time, because a wife had to become the breadwinner. So the wife is more outside, more in the field, more making that money, more just get into the bag to support her family. Him breaking down in that kitchen was a scene that I feel like we've seen so often, but we neglect it so often. We would neglect the time, we neglect what depression looks like. And then and come to a point where, unfortunately, Leno's body gave up. And right before it gave up, they had the most beautiful talk. And the day before, he had the best time being around the ones he loved. Unfortunately, because his mother not being there. But him being around all of that family, taking all of those photos, being around his daughter, being able to hold her one last time, meant the world to him. Because not for nothing, people usually die where it's comfortable, or where they are comfortable. Whether it's a family member, a relationship, whatever that looks like for you. Depression is real. Love is real. Working and building something from scratch is so real. It's so essential. It was that moment for me when he passed away, and she woke up and his eyes was open, and then he closed it himself. You see, I guess waited till she woke up for him to be at peace. He wanted her to see him one last time for who he was. He wanted for him, he wanted for her to see him like that one last time before she couldn't. But after Leno passed, the raw emotion that Amy showed was, of course, heart-wrenching as well. It was just like, it's a must-watch. If you don't have Netflix, get Netflix. Please watch this. It is really good from beginning to end, and everything in between. It's going to make you gotta have so many emotions bottled in that you're going to have to let out. Whether you dealt with something like this in your personal life where you can fully relate, or something similar where you can relate to somewhat, or just the acting, just the emotion behind what is being displayed is just utterly amazing, utterly magnificent. You have to watch from scratch. Later, guys, this was Kimi, and I was back with my tea of the day. This was episode 17 of season 4. And I'm back with you. And I just want to leave you with this. Final words. I want to thank everyone who's ever listened, who's listening now, for your continued support. It means a lot. It means a world to me. I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for the feedback. I want to thank you for the continued support. I want to thank you for giving me a voice again. I want to thank you for letting me give a voice to the voiceless. And letting me just talk my shit when I need to. Letting me be emotional when I need to. Letting me cry on here when I need to. Letting me tell y'all about these motherfucking niggas when I need to. Letting me teach you what I need to. Letting me live out my biggest dreams when I need to on here. Letting me boast and showcase when I need to. Letting me feel and be that nigga when I need to. It completely means the world to me. And I will try not to be away for another month. It's unacceptable, but it's life. And when I feel like there's nothing I have left to talk about, I give myself time to get through that emotion, to get through that pain, and to get it together, and to come back and realize who I am, and realize what I have to offer, and realize that even if I touch one person, I've succeeded. Even if I touch one person, I am worthy. Even if I touch one person, and that person magically understands who the fuck they are, that I made a difference, and I made a change, and I'm grateful for that. So stop being and stop living for others. Never let anyone disrespect you. Never let anyone motherfucking play you like a motherfucking toy. Never let anyone belittle or diminish how you feel. And never let anyone make it seem that what you feel is minute or little. If you need to keep receipts, keep those motherfucking receipts and lay it down when need to. Because people will try you. And when you have the receipts and you show them, there's nothing left to say. There's nothing else to do. Just know that it's time for you to go. It's time for you to exit stage left. And oftentimes, that's what people need. They need you to exit your life for them to do better, for them to want more, for them to be better. And then they'll realize when it's too late what you were supposed to be, or who you are, or who you were for them. And that they took you for granted. And it's okay. But you begin to live in your excellence. You begin to live in your essence. You begin to be you. That's my final words, guys. Thank you again for listening. I'm out.